Hi, Monica King. This is a little hive. I can feel the weight is just, it's so lightweight. I don't even know what I'm gonna find when I open it. This was a colony at the staging yard, and it looks like it has been being robbed out. Actually, both of them weren't looking very good. One of the big issues with bringing back rehab bees is that they're very weak in the very beginning, and that it takes a while to get them going. So let's see what we've got here. Looks like this cluster has left their comb. Yeah, and basically are just hanging out. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's get them set up, try to make them happier. They did get, it helps them to have some probiotics. So got that. And then they also have a little bit, and they're very much enjoying their Hive Alive fondant patty. So that's a plus. They got a little bit of nectar in there, not much. As you can tell, they're working a little bit, but not a whole lot. Not doing a fantastic job. And this is probably why. I was late getting to them. Well, a lot of them are inside. I'm not sure what happened here. So Tess put them inside of a pushing cage. They definitely they definitely got inside, but I don't know if their queen is okay or not. They definitely ate out the candy plug to get her out of the pushing cage. But let's see what's happening. And there she is. She's little. Very little. I don't know if they're even laying any eggs or anything here. Oh, she's got some eggs in here. Definitely have some eggs. What I'm gonna do is, while they're still small, this is definitely an Africanized queen. I'm going to get them started on going through the European requeening process. Give me a second here. I'm gonna go put her in some Everclear. Okay. Got them in the Everclear. I'm gonna give them, I'll have to take this back to the staging yard for Tess. I'm gonna give them a little bit of a drawn comb between here. Definitely looks like they're getting robbed out. They're a very small colony. There's a lot of tore up debris in the very bottom, and I will show you that here in just a second. So you see how the Hive Alive fondant is just being ripped to shreds. So it is likely, and you know, there's a lot of damage to the comb. It's likely that these girls were getting robbed. There's some dead bees in the bottom. Definitely a robbing scenario. So there are eggs and larvae. She was laying, but what we're gonna do, I took the queen out And what I'm going to be doing is adding a European queen to this. And these bees are very calm. So I am going to do it within the next probably, let's see here, I'm going to be working the bees again, I believe, on Monday morning. So Monday morning, I'm going to give them a European queen. I'm going to see what else I've got here. We're missing some frames. And I'm going to clean out the very bottom. Actually, try to clean out some of the bottom. Okay, I have them on the smallest. I'm going to pull this off. I have them on the smallest opening for the entrance, but that's not good enough. And actually, even with robbing screens, we've seen robbing activity. They don't stop it completely, but they do help prevent it in many cases. So, let me get this off. They're definitely extremely lightweight. I have coyote problems in this bee yard, so this is something easy for a coyote to get into right now. When I cycle this box out, the box is going to need repairs. It was a box given to me by a hobbyist, and they just used nails that came with the kit. And so got a little bit more to lick out there. That's a feeder board, but it has an opening there. It's got a little bit too much access for the robber bees. Okay, I forgot I have another hive right here. And I think I'm going to be combining these two. And when I do combine, I'm going to be using a screen in between them for the introduction. But these were really being robbed out. And not by by bees, but by ants. So I'm going to give this to the stronger hive to finish. This one had a severe ant issue going on. I'm going to give them this here. I should have them in an 8 frame, but that's not going to work for me right now. I'm trying to figure out my access. This is a goner. Give them this one. Take some of these back. Yeah, they're just chewing it up. Definitely robbed out. Once again. They didn't even get their queen out. They're so weak. There's not that many bees in here. Very few bees. I'm just gonna, yeah. I'm just gonna give it to them to try to, I'm just gonna say, get along, girls. Whatever doesn't get along, doesn't get along. And it just needs to be cleaned up. Got to get that coyote problem under control so I don't have to use so many blocks, bricks. Again, this could be put in just a 5-frame nucleus. It's an extremely small colony. But they're starting to grow. Maybe I should leave them Africanized. No, I'm just kidding. Definitely starting to grow. The queen is right here. So on Monday when I come in to add a queen into the other colony, I'm going to add one into here too. Oh, the other day I had somebody asking me about a push-in cage, and I totally forgot. Okay, so I totally forgot to talk about it so that I could share the information about a push-in cage. So we work a lot with the Africanized bees, and a lot of times it takes a little longer for the queens to get introduced. In fact, somebody the other day just told me that they saw on Google that most of the time queens are accepted by the bees when you're introducing a new queen. That is not the case with Africanized girls. So on occasion, when they're extremely spicy, this is not bad. This is tolerable. But when they're really on the like number 8, 9, 10 on my heat-o-meter scale, not only do I reduce their numbers, but sometimes I will even use the push-in cage. And what this is number 8 hardware cloth that has been cut to create a very thin rectangular box. You cut the edges so that you can bend the edges in. So Tess made this one. She also made it so that the queen could be chewed out using a candy plug on one end. Many times I don't even use this anymore. I just wait 4 or 5 days and I'll come pull this myself. Sometimes I'll wait a week. Sometimes it just kind of depends. I just want to make sure that I don't lose my European queens. So basically what you would do is take a frame that has a lot of empty drawn comb on it. Knock all of the bees off of it, and then you would take your queen, and you would need to do this inside of a vehicle or inside of the house or something. And you would, because you don't want the queen flying away, and what you would do is you would press this in over the area that has empty cells. So you just press this in really good over the area with empty cells and some nectar. You want her to be able to feed herself should the Africanized bees not want to feed her. So then put a rubber band on this, nice and tight. And this here, this is so cute. I don't know where Tess found this, but I usually use aluminum foil. And I'll put the aluminum foil in, and then I'll put a rubber band around it. And this allows the European queen to get in behind this for some privacy. Allows her to get away from the Africanized worker bees. They have been known to chew the wings or the feet on the European queens if they can reach them. So you want her to be able to get away from any of that kind of activity until she is starting to be recognized. Her pheromone is getting out there within the colony and everything. So this is just a slow release introduction, and it all depends on reading the colony on their defensive behavior, on how they're going to act to receiving a new queen.